Hello everyone, my name is EVOO. Welcome to Cooking with the Koyas and welcome to 2023. Happy New Year everyone. Today is also the 2-year anniversary of Cooking with the Koyas. And to celebrate, I'm going to share with you my recipe for focaccia. I've been waiting a long time to share this recipe with you because honestly folks, it is nothing short of spectacular. I really hope you give this recipe a try. The focaccia is amazing. Now, the process I'm going to use, I found in this book, which is one of my favorite bread books by Focaccia. And you will not find this recipe that I'm going to share with you today in the book because the recipe is mine. I developed the recipe, and in fact, in the book, Focaccia recommends that you try different things and come up with your own ideas. And that's in fact what I've done here. I've been making this focaccia for years, and now it makes me very happy because I'm going to share it with you. Let's get started right now. So this focaccia recipe, folks, takes very, very little effort. It really, really does. Okay, and it's going to start off by using 500 grams of 00 flour. Okay, and try to find a 00 flour with a high protein content. Anything over 12.5% protein is ideal. The more protein that you can find in your flour, your 00 flour, the better. Okay, so we're going to go with 500 grams. There we go, 500 grams of 00 flour. And now we're going to want 500 grams of water. So 500 grams of water, which is also the same as 500 milliliters of water. And we'll get that right up to the level we want. $504, a little bit too much. Okay, I just remove a little. 500, perfect. Okay, now this water has to be 80 degrees, around 80 degrees. So I'm going to pop it in the microwave for 40 seconds. So there we have it. And we are at 80 degrees. That's perfect. These temperature sensors are fantastic. And I think I might have said 40 seconds. I meant to say 30 seconds. In my microwave, it's 30 seconds to get to 80 degrees. Okay, now that that's done and ready, we go back to our flour, and we're going to add to our flour 1/8 of a teaspoon of yeast. That's it, 1/8 of a teaspoon. That's all we're going to use in this recipe. And try to use an instant yeast. We're also going to add one of my secret ingredients. If you can see it here, it's Diastatic Malt Powder. That's exactly the ingredient you want. This, folks, is a superfood for yeast. This helps in many, many ways, including helps with the rise, helps with the color, helps with the cooking. Secret ingredient right there, folks, Diastatic Malt Powder. Okay, we have our 1 teaspoon of malt powder. We have our 1/8 teaspoon of instant yeast. Mix them together. Add your 80-degree water and mix. I like to use a spatula and mix it all together, folks, until everything is incorporated into a nice creamy mixture. You can see there's still lots of flour that needs to be incorporated. Okay, so just give it a good mix. Scrape it around, scrape the edges, and just mix it. It's very easy to do. And this part takes you about, I don't know, maybe 30 seconds. I could probably, once everything is incorporated, you can stop. So I was just going to say, I can probably stop right now. But you know me, when you think you've mixed enough, mix a little more. I like to see a smoother consistency. I want to make sure that everything is incorporated. So why not take an extra few seconds? Instead of taking 15 seconds to mix, take 30 seconds. Okay, and there we have a nice, creamy, very liquidy mixture, as you can see there. that is going to be the base of our focaccia. This is also known as a poolish. So what we're going to do, okay, so we take our poolish. This is very simple as well. We're going to put the lid on and we are going to cover it, and we are going to leave this for anywhere from 12 to 14 hours. Ideally 12 hours. This will just sit overnight, and it's going to rise. And like I say, you can give it anywhere from 12 to 14 hours. And it sits right on the kitchen counter. Doesn't have to go in the fridge. Just leave it out on the counter, cover it up. And we're going to leave it right here right now. And we're going to fast forward 12 hours and we'll come back right back at you. So here we are 12 hours later. I started this around 9-ish last night. I like to do it the night before and continue it the next morning. So let's take a look at our poolish. Oh, look at this, folks. Look how much that poolish has risen. You could see there how high it's gotten. It used to be just a little bit on the bottom, if you remember. And look at how bubbly that is. We're going to show you. We're going to take a closer look at that. But for right now, I'll just let it sit. So step 2, very, very easy. Let's get our weigh scale going. Now, you may recall yesterday we used 500 grams of 00 flour. We're going to put the 00 flour away because today, folks, we're going to add 500 grams of all-purpose flour. Now, I use all-purpose unbleached flour. That's my preference. But you want 500 grams of all-purpose flour with a higher protein. Most all-purpose flours come at around 13.3% protein. That's perfect. And this is the second secret ingredient because it's that mix of 00 flour and regular all-purpose flour that help make this focaccia as amazing as it is. So we're just going to weigh this, and we want 500 grams. So 500 grams of all-purpose white flour. In my case, unbleached. Again, if you use regular white bleached flour, that's fine too. Okay, and whoop, and we're at 500, exactly, perfect. Okay, 500 grams all-purpose flour. To our 500 grams of flour, we're gonna add 20 grams of salt, which is 2.5 teaspoons. So 2.5 teaspoons of salt go inside, and our secret ingredient again, our Diastatic Malt Powder. This is all natural too, folks. This is not a chemical. So we're going to add our malt powder, 1 teaspoon of malt powder. Okay, so our flour is now ready. Just give it a little mix. Okay, it's ready to be added, but we also need a liquid. So another secret ingredient. Today, folks, we're going to use 200 grams of milk. I use skim milk, which is 0% fat. 200 grams. And if you're doing the math, that brings us up to 70% hydration. This needs to be heated up. It's cold from the fridge. 50 seconds in the microwave, in my microwave, will bring it up to about 105 degrees Fahrenheit. And that's what you want. You want your milk nice and warm. For those of you who can't use milk, don't fret. You can use 200 grams of water. The focaccia will still be amazing, but with the milk, it takes it to that next level of spectacular. So let me just give this a quick heat. We'll come right back. So there we go. Our milk is preheated and we are at just over 105. So maybe I could have went 45 seconds. That's okay. Let's take a look at this beautiful poolish, folks. Oh my goodness. It's bubbly. It's airy. It's got a beautiful aroma to it. That, folks, is the beginning of a beautiful focaccia right there. Very, very bubbly and active. very active. All from that 1/8 teaspoon of yeast. Amazing. We're almost at the 2 quart or 2 liter mark from that little bit of a dough that we started with. Okay, so our step 2 is very simple. We take our flour that we just pre-mixed with the salt and the diastatic malt powder. We take our 200 grams of milk, add it all in, and now I like to use a spatula, start mixing. Very simply, get it mixed together, and you want all that flour to incorporate into the poolish. So I'm going to start off using the spatula, scraping the edges and getting everything mixed together. But we're going to get to the point, folks, where we're going to use our hands. This is where some of the fun begins. We get right in there, we're going to mix this. But let's get it started with a spatula. Okay, and again, I like to scrape the edges and keep all that flour intact. Give it a mix. Okay, that's pretty good. That's a good start. But now what we have to do, you can see there, it's not really mixed together or really blended as a real nice dough yet. That's why we need to get our hands in there and mix it up, I'm going to say properly. Okay, there we go. Clean hands, of course, always a given. Okay, and then with your hands, just get in there and just start squeezing. Take the dough and just squeeze it in between your hands. Take it and squeeze it. So work it all around. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Grab from below if you see some flour and just squeeze it. Squeeze it in between your hands. And there's no rush. Take your time. Okay, you could feel it as it's coming along, and you can see there's some flour on the bottom. Just grab it, lift it up, and you can see here it's still, it's still not a nice consistency dough yet. It's still kind of rough, and the more you mix it together, the smoother and more consistent it's going to get, and that's what you want. You want that poolish and the flour that we've added to be blended in and become one. So it'll be a nice, I don't want to say creamy, but I guess I can say creamy. It'll be a nice creamy consistency when we're finished. So for this part, give it about a minute. I would say it'll take about a minute to get it to where you want. So after about a minute, the dough's going to start to firm up a bit, as you can see here. And you'll be able to feel, like when you first started, you feel like little clumps of flour and little clumps of dryness. And as you mix it together, all those clumps go away and it becomes one smooth, consistent dough as we have here right now. That is one beautiful, smooth, consistent dough, and it's firmed up a bit. So grab it from the bottom, mix it from the top. It's been a minute, so you know what I say, when you think you've mixed enough, mix a little more. And by all means, if you want to go 2 minutes, go right ahead. When you feel the consistency that you want, that it's nice and smooth, and the dough has firmed up, as you can see, it's firmed up now. It's starting to actually, see that I can pick it up. I can pick it up and grab it. It's firmed up nicely. Okay, so basically our dough is now done. It's mixed really well. Okay, and all we have to do now, our next step, is very, very easy. I'm going to put it together here. And notice we did everything in the one container. The mess is all contained. There we go. Step number 2 done. We're just going to leave that now. Cover it. And we're going to let it rest, folks, for 30 minutes. And in 30 minutes, we're going to come back and do what I'm going to call a fourfold. So let's let it set. 30 minutes. We'll be right back. So it's been 30 minutes. Let's take a look at our beautiful dough. There we can see it's been resting patiently. So what we're gonna do now, I'm just gonna wet my hand a little bit, just very little, just dampen it up a bit. You may recall when we first mixed it, how sticky it was. And it doesn't matter when you first mix it, you're gonna get dough on your hands. This time, it'll still be sticky, but not as bad. So what we're gonna do here is you just basically wanna grab an end of the dough, lift it, and fold it over, okay? You're gonna turn it around a bit, lift it up, fold it over. So that's it. You're gonna grab, lift, fold. Grab from the bottom, lift it up, and fold it over. And you're gonna continue to work your way around the dough and do these folds. I like to do about 20 of them, roughly, okay? If you like the feel of the dough and you wanna do 25 or 30, you go right ahead and do that. But I like to do about 20. You have to do at least 4, okay? But I like to go around, and again, everything is in this container, everything's all contained. And you can see it's sticking, but not as nearly as bad. My hand was covered last time, remember, in the dough? And this time, it's not so bad, okay? You're gonna get a little bit sticking, but again, not too bad. You do the 4 folds. I call it a 4-fold. That's what it's referred to as. And like I say, I do this about 20 times. Now I lost count, but I can tell by the feel of the dough, it's feeling pretty good. Okay, I'll give it a couple more. Okay, there we go. 4 folds are done. We did about, I don't know, we did about 20 of them. Thereabouts, I lost count. Okay, and with my spatula, make sure the edges are scraped. That's it. Now, once again, we let it rest for another 30 minutes. So, nice rest. We'll be back in 30 minutes. Here we are again, another 30 minutes later, and it's time to do another 4-fold. You can see our dough has been resting very nicely. Again, I'm just gonna damp my hand just ever so slightly. Just get it a little bit damp. And then same thing, lift and fold it over. You can see how it's firming up already and it's sticking less to your hand. So just lift and fold. Very simple process. Work your way all around the dough. Lift and fold. And again, you're gonna feel it firming up as you do this. It's gonna firm up. As you fold it, it firms. And the dough is starting to develop, folks. It is starting to develop. Look at that. We first started off with a very runny mixture, and now look at what we have. Could pick this whole thing up, look at there, and just fold it right over. We're developing the strength and the glutens in this dough. Again, you want to go around about 20 times, thereabouts. Absolute minimum, 4 times. Okay, and it starts to feel like a really nice, smooth dough. There we go. That's pretty good right there, folks. Okay, so we are now going to let it rest again. I just want to show you the level that we're at. Okay, so we're going to cover it up and we're going to let it rest for 5 hours this time, and it's going to double or more than double in size. So I want you to pay attention to our level where we're at right now. We're about at the 1 liter or 1 quart level. It's going to go at least to the 2 liter or 2 quart level, maybe higher in this 5 hour period. And that's what we want. We want it to get basically double or a little bit more than double in size. So we'll let it sit here. We will come back in 5 hours. So it's been about 5 hours. Let's take a look and see how our dough is doing. Oh my goodness, there we go, folks. It has doubled in size. it has risen very nicely. In fact, let's take a look inside here. There's our dough right there. Absolutely beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful dough. And you can see nice air pockets already inside our dough, just on the side there. Take a look there. Beautiful. It has risen very, very nicely. Like I say, it has doubled. It could actually even go sometimes 2.5 times the size, depending on the heat in your kitchen and your yeast. So for now, the step 3, very, very simple. All we got to do now is divide it in half. So we're going to divide it and shape it. So a little bit of flour on our surface. And then I like to, with the spatula, just kind of ease the dough out of its container, trying not to stretch it or tear it as much as I can. Just gently take it out of the container. And you can see here it's easily coming out. Okay, love my spatula. And there we go. Okay. A little bit left there. There we go. Very nice. So for this part here, we're going to make 2 focaccias. So all you have to do here, divide it in half. Doesn't have to be exactly in half, but aim for about half. Your doughs are going to be around 850 grams each. So I just basically visualize half is about right here. Just give a cut and a cut. Okay, so now I've got my 2 focaccia doughs here, and to shape them is actually a very, very easy to do. Let's move that one aside. A little bit of flour on the hands. Basically, you're going to do a 4-fold of the single piece of dough. You're going to grab one end, fold it over, grab another end, lift and fold, grab the other end, lift and fold, grab this end, lift and fold. That's it. Now, once you've done that, you can take your dough, shape it into a round. And the easiest way I found to do this is you basically grab your dough and pull it on a drier surface towards you. So you grab your dough and pull it on a dry surface. And what happens as you do that, the dough is kind of tightening up and forming into a ball. This is the same way that I would dough any of my bread, or form any of my breads or my pizza dough balls as well. Once it's come to basically a medium tight ball, it's done. Take a container, place it in the container, lid on, and we're going to do the same thing to our other dough. Lift one side, fold it over. Other side, fold it over. Look at this beautiful dough, folks. Lift and fold. Lift and fold. There we go. Dough goes down. Roll it towards you. If you find it sticking a bit, just put a little bit of flour on your hands, but it's really not that sticky at this point. And form it into a ball. Okay. Medium tight, I would say, is great. There we go. That's perfect. Again, it's about half. You don't need to stress over it. In the container it goes. Lid on. Now, simple part. All you do, you can do one of 2 things. You can put it in the refrigerator. So I'll put this one in the fridge. Make some room in the fridge. Okay, so put it in the fridge, let it stay until the next day or even the day after. What happens in the refrigerator overnight, it's going to develop even more flavors. The focaccia will become super flavorful the next day. So option 1. Option 2, take your dough, let it sit covered, 30 to 60 minutes. And you can cook it same day, right now. Either way, they're both good options. My preference is to let it stay overnight, at least to the next day. Like I say, that produces the best flavorful focaccia. But this, on same day, still produces an amazing focaccia. So what I'm going to do is we're going to let this one rest for 30 to 60 minutes, so anywhere in that range. And I'm going to make this one right now, so we don't have to wait an extra day to see this beautiful focaccia. That one in the fridge, I will cook tomorrow. This one, I will cook right now. We'll let it rest for a bit, 30 to 60 minutes. I'll fire up the oven. And in fact, we're going to preheat our oven to 500 degrees. Okay, so oven gets preheated to 500. We wait about, I don't know, I'll wait about 40, 45 minutes, somewhere between 30 and 60 minutes, and we'll get cooking. Here we are about 45 minutes later. Our dough, folks, has been sitting very patiently. Time to have some more fun. Come and take a closer look as we prepare our focaccia. Okay, so I have two pans here. The focaccia, it will fit in this pan, which is 10 by 15 inches. However, folks, I like to use an oversized pan, which is 13 by 18. And the reason for that is I like to have room on the outside of the focaccia so that it cooks better on the edges and gets that nice dark color to it. So if you have one, use an oversized container. Now let's take a look at this beautiful dough. Just take a look at that, folks. This dough is going to make for a fantastic focaccia. So we're going to tilt that and just gently take it out of our tub, which we didn't even put any olive oil in here, but if you're worried about stickiness, you could line it with a little bit of olive oil. But as you can see, came out very, very nicely. Hands, of course, are always the cleanest in the house. The chef's hands, that is. 100%, that's a given. Now, because I was a little excited, I missed a step. And the first step, folks, is to take a little bit of olive oil and line the bottom of the pan. So just with a brush, you want to just spread the olive oil on the bottom of the pan, enough to give it a coating so that your focaccia doesn't stick. Okay, so just a nice coating of olive oil, that's perfect. Now we could take our focaccia dough, okay, and place it on our pan. There we go. Okay, so a little bit of olive oil on the hands always helps as well. And you're going to want to just shape your focaccia into a rectangle kind of shape. Just kind of slowly press it, spread it, right? And just ease it into a rectangular shape. Now, the thickness depends on you. If I leave it right now, it'll be a really thick focaccia, but I'm going to get it down to about, I'm going to say about an inch thick, so that it's still relatively thick in case I want to make a sandwich. There we go. And again, the shape doesn't really matter, okay, at the end of the day, but if you can, a rectangular shape, that's great. So that's a good inch thick right there. Okay. Now, again, with a little bit of olive oil on our hands, with your fingers, here comes the dimple part. You're basically just going to push down and put dimples into your focaccia. Okay, now unfortunately with this dough, we're going to lose a lot of these dimples. They're going to disappear, but they're going to do the job that we want them to do in the meanwhile with the olive oil. Okay, that's enough dimples right there. Speaking of olive oil, now you want to be generous with your olive oil. Pour it. Yes, pour the olive oil on top. Fill those holes. Fill those holes up with olive oil. And then with your brush, brush it all over. Make sure that the entire focaccia bread has got a little bit of olive oil on it. And the little holes, the dimples that we prepared, are full of olive oil. So that's another key to making a fantastic focaccia. You can't be shy with the olive oil. You know me, folks. I like to use olive oil as a general rule, a lot of it. But this is a time where you really do need it. Okay, so we now have our olive oil on. Now, quite simply, we add our salt. And you do salt to taste, but honestly, focaccia likes salt. So salt it generously like you would, let's say if you were cooking a steak. Okay? Now that it's salted, I've got some oregano here. And generously sprinkle oregano all over top of your focaccia. If you have rosemary, you could also add a little bit of rosemary as an optional, but I like to stick with the basics, just oregano. Okay, there we go. I like it. Time to put it in the oven. So our oven, folks, has been preheated to 500 degrees, and time to put our focaccia in. From here, we wait 12 to 15 minutes, depending on your oven. So I'm going to suggest at the 12-minute mark, start looking at your focaccia. And if you like it a little darker, let it go a little longer. So depending on how you like your focaccia, I personally like mine a little bit darker. So we're going to take a look at this at the 12-minute mark and see how it's coming along. But it could stay in there up to 15 minutes. Can't wait to show you this focaccia, folks. It's going to be amazing. Okay, so it's been 12 minutes. Let's take a peek and see how our focaccia is doing. Oh my, folks, look at that. Okay, I like it a little bit darker. I'm gonna let it stay for at least another minute or two. It is looking good. Okay, so I've let it go 14 and a half, almost 15 minutes. That's the color I want right there. Let's turn the oven off. Now you're talking, folks. Take a look at that. See how the top of the focaccia is now browned nicely? The last time I looked at the 12-minute mark, it was still white. That's what I want to see, color. Okay, let's take a closer look at this focaccia. I'm going to dress it up and we're going to cut into it. I'll show you what it looks like on the bottom, on the inside, and we will do the taste test. So you see how I mentioned we lose a lot of our dimples? We still have a couple here, but take any olive oil that you have that's pooled up in your dimples and wipe it all around. And you see a little bit here of olive oil has come off the dough and onto the pan. Take all that olive oil and brush it on. Brush it all over the top and over the sides and the edges. You want to move that olive oil over and cover the entire focaccia with that residual olive oil. There we go. Get all of that pooled olive oil out and spread around. Oh my goodness, folks. Look at this focaccia. Okay, we use all that olive oil. So we're not adding any more olive oil. We're using the existing olive oil and just spreading it all around. There we go. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm gonna have to take a photo of this for Facebook and Instagram, and then we're gonna take a look at it, check out the bottom, which, by the way, there we go. Lifts off very nicely. Perfecto. Photo op time. Okay, also, now that we're nice and close, let's take a look at the bottom. Oh my goodness, folks. Look at that bottom of that focaccia. I see my dimples there. Look at this. Oh my goodness. This is going to be unbelievable. Okay, now to cut this, you can use a pizza cutter, but you see it's kind of thick. You could use a knife, but honestly, folks, scissors work really, really well. Just take a pair of scissors and cut. Okay. I want you to check this out. Look at that. Isn't that is spectacular. Just spectacular. It's steaming because it's very, very hot. Okay, but look at that. Amazing, amazing air pockets. And these, of course, you cut them as big or as small as you want. Okay, I like the corners with the nice crispiness. And of course, the dark, I like the darker pieces, but it's all good, honestly, folks. Whether it's the darker on the outside or the whiter on the inside, absolutely amazing. So let me do the taste test. And before I do that though, if I can get a knife, I would like to also cut this one right here open. Right there. Oh, look at that, folks. You know what I'm going to do with that? That is absolutely amazing right there. Okay, so I just so happen to have some salami here. I just so happen to have some cheese. Oh, what do I have over here? I have some prosciutto. And, oh, look at this, folks. I happen to have a roasted pepper. Oh, okay, taste test time. Taste test time. Oh my goodness, folks. Oh, I don't know where to start. I'm going to start with this little piece here right on the end, because you can have this focaccia. You can eat it as a side. You can serve it as an antipasto. You can serve it with your antipasto. And of course, you serve it in place of your bread. Huh. Spectacular. Folks, this is going to be the best focaccia ever. Your friends are going to love it. Your family's going to love it. It's going to be a favorite. So whether you serve it as a bread or if you want to make sandwiches with it, either way, it is simply delicious. Oh my. Honestly, folks, I don't think it gets any better than this. And the focaccia is still warm. When you eat focaccia, if there's not olive oil on your fingers, it's not a good focaccia. There's got to be olive oil. But you've seen how easy this recipe was to come together. Make your poolish, make your dough, shape it, in the oven it goes. This one didn't even stay in the, never saw the refrigerator. The other one I will cook tomorrow. But honestly, folks, you know, I've said this before, I love it when I share my recipes with you. I love it more when you make my recipes. Because if you can enjoy focaccia like this and your family and friends can, that's really what makes me happiest. I love sharing my recipes, what I've put together with you. So thanks for tuning in. I really hope you make this focaccia. And until next time, folks, buon appetito. Oh my goodness. Delicious.